All right. Video is live at Buddy Lee. Stand by for audio. All right. Good day and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a powerful episode for you today. So today, I have been able to network and get connected with, for this show, our first former Olympian coming on the show here today. And recently, we got to speak to one of his I guess you want to call him his teachlings. I'm going to make up a word there for you. But basically, that gentleman, Chris Rollins, was on the show, and we talked a lot about jump ropes. So this gentleman coming on today is, again, as I hinted, a former Olympian. I mean, he was a 1992 Olympic team member, an 88 Olympic team first alternate. He's a 3-time world military champion, 10-time World Cup medalist, 20-time National Wrestling Champion, Old Dominion University Sports Hall of Famer, and 3-time Athlete of the Year. This guy, I could keep going, but we're going to get into this because he's also now becoming an upcoming author. He's got a ridiculous jump rope education program that I have just bought into, got the first book of it. And speaking of him being an author, he literally has another book coming out that we're going to talk about here today as well, called The 101 Best Jump Roping Workouts. And he's got a heck of a connection to something passionate in my life, which is the CrossFit world. He's got some history there as well. So without further ado, welcome to the show, sir, Buddy Lee.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm all the way in the Baltics right now. I'm in Latvia.
Yeah, I heard about that on Vinny Todorich's show, so we'll give him a shout out because that's how beautiful this stuff is. I listen to his show. He comes on my show. I heard about you as well. And so I guess you literally started here in the U.S. and then one day you decide, you know what, you're traveling around and you come across the Baltics and you're like, or somewhere else. And is that where you're living now?
Yes, I probably live here most of the time. It's where I rest and I can relax and I can walk and I don't need a car and don't have to worry about guns and all those other crazy things.
Yeah, we do have an interesting transition happening here in the U.S., don't we? It sounds like it's way peaceful over there.
Very peaceful and very nice.
So do you find yourself, as far as that peacefulness, because I love talking about healthy lifestyle, right? This is about life balance, and we're always pulled in different directions. So would you say that nowadays, because I kind of hinted about a new book coming out, you mentioned to me before we fired this up today, can you attribute some of that different lifestyle over there, that cleanliness, that peacefulness, to really helping you find the time to also now become another author of launching another book?
Oh, for sure. I mean, here, I don't have the phones ringing like I would in the USA. I don't have to get in my car and drive about 2 hours. Something that takes 30 minutes takes 2 hours to drive, because in Washington, D.C., which is where my office is located, it's just, very, very tough to get in a car and just drive around. You just get caught in the traffic. It's very hectic and very, very busy life. So I get to, settle down here. But then, in about 3 days, I come back to the USA and head into the CrossFit Games and doing some other things with the business. So it's going to be a crazy life again. So I get a breather here.
It sounds like it. And speaking of the games, yes, literally my fiance and I last night we're both into the CrossFit. I actually coach it. I'm a CFL1, and she's an athlete. And actually, last weekend we have a regular competition that happens locally here every year. There's a bunch of them around here, but this is one that's been around longer. And she actually won the scale division. So she's never won before, but it was a partner workout. Her and her partner won it, and I was joking around with Chris because if she and I got into a race for singles, that girl can kick my butt for jump rope. So she's got your style with that light foot, very little off the ground, and she's just can fly.
Yeah, that's right. Efficiency of movements is what it's called. And when you learn how to jump the right way, you jump anywhere from a quarter to a half inch off the floor. So she's learned the key to jumping correctly.
Yes, and then obviously in our CrossFit world, you're not worth the salt unless you can figure out a double under. So she's been she's beating me on that because I was joking around with Chris on this too. I don't take the time, even though I'm a coach, I haven't taken the time to really dedicate myself to the double under because I didn't grow up with jump rope. I never learned it. He and I talked on the show about me growing up in martial arts. And it's funny because my sensei back then joked around as a kid. He's like, you sure you weren't a wrestler? And I was like, why do you say that? And he's like, you're picking this up so easily and so well, and you're so flexible that you literally, he's like, usually wrestlers come in and I find them able to pick up the art a lot faster this way. And I had no wrestling background, but we didn't ever really deal with any kind of classic conditioning like jumping rope and other physical exercises like this. So I was a late bloomer.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like you say, as an athlete, you learn the skills that that requires to learn anything. You have balance, you have coordination, you have reflexes, and that's one. I mean, jumping is a skill movement. So, you know, and as an athlete, you develop skills, and so it's easy to transfer those things into learning other techniques or disciplines.
Well, and I got to tell you, I mean, when it's funny when I start, because in the CrossFit world, we say, hey, well, if you can't do a double under in the programming, you basically have to do 3 times that in the singles, because that way you build it up anyway. So it actually ends up taking you more time. If you're efficient, you can get the singles done relatively the same as an average double under person. But if somebody's really good at their double unders, obviously they should be able to get done quicker because they're not doing as much of the workload, so to speak. It's a different kind of workload. So it's just interesting because I basically have to do 3 times the work, so to speak, as far as, flips of the rope.
Well, you know, maybe we can teach you through the Buddy Lee system how to be more efficient, and you can be just as good.
Hey, I'm already through the first chapter in the book. So the book arrived on Friday, and I literally have the.
Got the Buddy Lee.
Here's the envelope that it came in. Here's your. I already got the fundamentals. Yeah, I've got.
Bringing you on as a Buddy Lee jump rope ambassador. You know, being certified. You know, and I like to start off by thanking you for inviting Chris, which is one of my really great jumpers and certified trainers and ambassador of the system. And so, you know, he did a great job as far as, promoting the system on your.
Oh, you could tell he's quite passionate. It's not like here's the thing. I'm a sales and marketing guy. So like I can tell when someone's been pushed or coached or like, oh, you're basically acting almost like an employee. There's none of that. It's this guy literally lives and breathes your system. And I could totally see why he's level 2 now, right? In your system?
Yeah, he's level 2, but Chris is an amazing athlete as well. I mean, he was what you call a marathoner and triathlete stuff, and then of course our connection is taekwondo. I was the jump condition coach for all the US Olympic taekwondo teams and stuff, for all the Olympic sports. So I mean, he knows his stuff. He's a real deal. He's a educator in martial arts, and then he understands the importance of jump rope. But most people, they don't get educated on how this exercise or skill is broken down so that you can teach people the right way and get all the amazing benefits. And so that's kind of like what, Greg Glassman did with me back in 2009. He called me up. He wanted me to be the jump rope expert for CrossFit. So I started off with Greg Glassman when he had like 600 gyms.
Wow. And clearly the CrossFit brand has definitely grown a lot bigger since then.
Exploded and stuff. So he kind of called me up one day when I was heading to Canada for the CanFit Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I was being an educator there on the CanFit Pro fitness convention, and I was doing certifications, and he asked me to head his CrossFit community on teaching them how to jump. I didn't know what CrossFit was. For me, my passion is to promote jump rope to the world. I don't have any biases. I'm not obligated to anyone. It's about sharing this art form, this skill, and teaching the whole world how to jump the right way. So I had the opportunity to come on with Greg Glassman at the national level. And if you look at some of the CrossFit journals and stuff, you'll see some of my writings. And when I came in, he was doing the double unders. And so I said, Greg, we can't start off with double unders. We got to teach people how to jump the right way. We got to teach them the fundamentals, how to jump, how to take off, how to land properly, where the arms should be. Because when you're doing a double under, you only need to just jump 1 inch off the floor to do a double under. So we came in, and I did about maybe 6 or 7 different gyms for them. And then I think something got distracted in my life during that time, and then I headed off in another direction with the U.S. government and started. And then I need to just get back in there because CrossFit has really exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to Greg. He's done an amazing job with his passion, his dream. He's made it into an empire. And, right now they need my help. So I want to get back in there and start educating the CrossFitters on how to master this skill of jumping so that it doesn't hurt them, so that they can continue to integrate it with all the things that they're doing, and they do it the perfect way, and get as many revolutions as they can in a short period of time, and just revamp the whole community so that they can understand there's more than double unders. There are single jumps, there's skiers, there's fails, all kinds of things you can use to get in great shape with the jump rope.
Oh, I tell people all the time now that I've come across you, it's just like my fiance didn't understand why I was so excited to have you on today and record with you. So I pulled up your YouTube channel and I'm like, this is why. And I played one of your videos and she's like, okay, yeah, I've never seen anybody do that. And I said, exactly. That's why. I said, and if you notice, I was like, yeah, I could go pull up a double under or a triple under video, but there's more to this than that. Like Chris and I were geeking out about, you look at the old movies, like the Rocky movies and those old, you know, and I hate to say it's old, but I mean, I'll be 40 this year. So, you know, the 80s and the 90s, you know, had a lot of good flicks like the Rocky that you could see some of that examples of the conditioning and about, yeah, you're doing a lot of jump rope and you're doing the switch overs of the hands back and forth. And I used to call them X switch. I know that's not the right terminology, but the point was, it's just cool seeing that level of artistic representation at an athletic level. It's just like, it's a whole different level. That's why it's like, I can't wait to get you on because I want to share this as much as possible to my audience. And then I got something to bring back to my CrossFit community. And I want to use this as an example just to finally get me over my own excuses, because even though as a coach, I'm like, yeah, you know what? The reason why I haven't defeated this yet is because I'm just not conditioning it. I'm not doing it myself. And I have 3 different kinds of ropes. And now with Chris is sending me some new other ones. So now I'm probably going to have 5 or 6 different kinds of ropes. So, but admittedly, it's not always the equipment. I should be able to pick up any rope and be able to replicate the talent.
You're exactly right. And when you learn the skill and when you learn the techniques, which is why I created a 3-step system many years ago to teach the world how to master this ancient, you know, skill. This has been around for thousands of years. And, you know, Greg Glassman has done an excellent job as far as exposing the world to jump rope, and he's just scratched the surface of what this thing can do. I mean, we associate jump rope with our boxers, our legendary boxers, the belated Muhammad Ali, the belated Bruce Lee, which was one of my heroes, and along with Muhammad Ali. And then, of course, you have tennis players that use jump rope. Serena Williams, you'll see images of basketball players using the jump rope for their warm-up. So, I mean, you know, they've scratched the surface, but this exercise is for everyone. And what I'm here is to show the planet on how to use this the right way and get the greatest benefits in the least amount of time. And when I show you how to do it, I got to motivate you too. So that's why I need to be able to jump just a little bit, just to get you excited, but to show you what this ancient activity can do for you if you learn how to master it. And there is a science behind jumping. And that's what I've spent the last 25, 30 years doing around the world, talking about the science and the biomechanics of how this exercise works and safe progressions and how to control the impact on the joint so that you never worry about injuring yourself with tendonitis of the heels, you know, for the Achilles tendonitis and all those other.
Oh, especially the Achilles, because the CrossFit, I mean, again, CrossFit world, we've got, we already have excessive, I don't want to call it trauma, but excessive use of those tissues from just box jumps, for example, jumping up and down off of a box jump. But then you're adding in the high speed repetition of jumping rope. And like you said, if you're not jumping properly, that impact over and over again. And most of these people, let's be real, I'm a big stressor on mobility and proper stretching and flexibility post workout. How many athletes just walk right out of the gym and don't even spend that time? And it's very frustrating for me as a coach, but it's funny because people were like, man, you're pretty flexible. And I was like, yeah, because I learned this as a kid in martial arts and I never forgot it. And I've carried it through all of my sports over the years. So it's important that we're learning the right mechanics.
That's right. And as your background as a martial artist, you have some understanding of progression. You didn't graduate from one level of martial arts to the next unless you went through the first step, second step, third step. And
yes. I loved Chris's connection from you about the whole belt ranking relationship. It was instantaneous for me. I was like, yes, like we had different stripes on the belt. And that was because listen, once you reach a certain point, like up to like the green belt level, I studied Shoin-ryu from the Okinawan Japan influence, and we weren't even allowed to just jump to the belt. You had to master that belt rank, and there were stripes you would be given on your belt. And then once you reach that, then you were allowed to test out and achieve the next level of belt rank. And he related that to the double unders and how he's like, guys, like you're trying to jump in at like in the Taekwondo, you're trying to jump into the red belt level and then go right to black. And you've skipped all the other stuff before that.
I think that's in anything. It's just like that in anything in life. I mean, how do you learn? The learning process is done that way. Especially, you need a foundation to anything. I mean, when you're talking about basketball, our great basketball players, athletes, they learn the fundamentals. Then once you learn the fundamentals, master the fundamentals, then you can make variations on that. That's what the double under is. So, I mean, let's face it. I'm excited about this. I'm glad you guys are doing this stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what? You need me. Buddy Lee needs to come back into CrossFit, and I'm going to show you how to jump the right way. And
I'm fired up, man, because we were literally watching, my fiance and I last night were watching because they've come out with movies documenting the prior years. So there's a 2015 CrossFit movie and there's a 2016 CrossFit movie. So we watched them both last night because in less than 2 weeks, you're going to be out there at the games in Madison, Wisconsin as a vendor and teaching people. And obviously the 2017 games. This is actually a big move this year because they've never left California either. So this is an interesting transition. But this is your return to influence.
And I was basically doing other things here and there, and it's like, okay, this, that, and I was selected by the government to be the spokesperson for fitness in partnership with Michelle Obama, the First Lady Michelle Obama, former. And when I was traveling around to all the military bases throughout Europe and places like that, a lot of the CrossFitters came up to me and say, I can't do this double under and stuff like that. And I spent about 5 to 10 minutes, make some adjustments, and get them doing double unders the right way. And but what I realize now, there's many complaints about people injuring themselves, especially the Achilles tendon. And that injury occurs from anything when it comes to bounding, jumps, running stairs and stuff like that. And you have to be careful because, once you rip or rupture the Achilles tendon, it'll take about a year to rehabilitate. And when box jumps and stuff like that, that's plyometrics. That's been around for a long time. And as world-class athletes, Olympic athletes, we train plyometrics, but we don't train plyometrics every day, Maybe like,
you cycle it, you rotate it.
Yeah, twice a week. So, what I would like to do is come in and revamp the whole, jump rope community and teach them other skills that are prerequisites to learning the double under so that when they do doubles and triples, well, a double under should be maybe like an inch off the floor. That's how high you should be jumping.
Yeah, I'm actually going to share your site here for our YouTube watchers while we're on video. So your screen may change for a second. But I love on your site, and again, for our listeners, guys, you can just go to buddyleejumpropes.com. But I'm actually showing under his education and training system, he's got a great diagram from the BL jump rope training book. But he outlines all the different tissue areas of the body that are influenced from basic jump roping. Am I correct on this diagram?
Yes. What we do is basically really break down the skill of jumping, what's actually happening. It's called a vertical leap. And what we break it down into about 3 or 4 steps. The load phase, how you decelerate to harness force from the ground, and then propelling your body up in space, which is the airborne phase. And then the landing phase is how you touch down and how you use the feet, the calves, the quads, the hamstrings, and gluteus to absorb impact, to spread it over a longer time and distance so that you minimize the impact that's coming down on your joints. And then basically how you push off on the feet. So when I do clinics and stuff, we spend a lot of time on taking off and landing, and then how to coordinate the rope swing to have that perfect jump where you can just barely hear your feet hit the floor. And from there, we show them progressions, how to build endurance, how do you become proficient with the jump rope, then how you integrate other movements, how you build up to 5-10 minutes of jumping nonstop, and then showing you about 20 different skills, and then showing you how to doubles, triples, or whatever you need to do. My guys, they do quintuple unders, but there's
as in 4 or like
quintuple unders is 5 unders.
Wow. Okay.
One of the guys
That's
who told me he does quintuple unders, and then we have one guy that does triples. My jump rope club that I sponsor, the kids at 10, 12 years of age, they do triple unders nonstop.
that's impressive.
Yeah. So it's like I want to get back in there and kind of re-educate the whole CrossFit world on jumping, and then just show you different programming, and so that people just don't get stuck on this high impact stuff, this high intensity jumping that increases the risk of injury, especially when you have people that haven't been jumping for years and they come out and try to do these type of skills. The risk of injuries is so great. And so what you're doing is losing membership. So as a CrossFit owner, as a leader of your people, you owe it to yourself to become more educated about the different things that you're teaching your customers or your athletes. You owe it to yourself. So I think that every CrossFit owner owe it to themselves to learn more about jumping and how to become certified so that they don't hurt their clientele and they keep their membership. Because let's face it, CrossFit is a family. It's an amazing community they've built. There's a lot of camaraderie. They push each other. People compete against themselves. They compete against each other. And they stay self-motivated because they got a family there to push them. But when you're injured, it doesn't make a difference how much your family's pushing you. When you're injured, you're going to be out. You're not coming to that CrossFit gym. And as a result, as a business owner, you lose clientele, you lose membership, and you lose the ability to take care of your bills and continue to help people.
And there's also a reputation issue, because you have people from the outside world looking in and saying, oh, well, CrossFit injures people because they have maybe a friend or a family member who might have gotten injured. And it's like, well, is it the sport's fault? Yes, I'm going to take some accountability because we need to be protecting people. And like you said, training them the right way. But there's also people that's like, well, are you overtraining? Are you not listening to your coach? Are you going in already injured and trying to do some of this stuff? How many times people do that? So, but to your point, yeah, I've got newbies all the time that are trying to do advanced movements like a double under. I'm like, you've only been in CrossFit for like a month or two. Like, this was slow your roll.
There's got to be a progression, and as a coach and as an owner of CrossFit Gym, you have to take, being certified in just a weekend does not give you enough knowledge to be able to really educate people. To be a great coach and to be able to transform people's lives, you have to continue to educate yourself on what it is that you're teaching them. So if you're teaching them kettlebells, learning kettlebells just on a weekend with a level 2 cert or whatever is not going to do it. Get more detail. Find out more about kettlebells.
Mm-hmm.
Learn more about how to weightlifting.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. I'm because I have a side nutrition business, and thanks through that network, I'm connected with the kettlebell Masters World Champion Valerie Pawlowski from Team USA. Yeah. So I'm currently actually talking to a CrossFit gym owner here locally to bring her in, because she has her own. She's now partnered up with Kettlebells USA right now as far as a manufacturer, and she's got her own, like you. She's got her own training programs on proper use of the kettlebells. And if you look at the kettlebells that she uses, they don't look like the ones in a CrossFit gym because they're all the same size. Why? Because these are the competitive level kettlebell with a 35 millimeter handle. And she does these long cycles that go for like an hour with a kettlebell. And people are like, she swings a kettlebell for over an hour? And I'm like, she's at the pro level, man. Like, that's her niche. Like you have the rope that can be applied to so many different sports, and she teaches the same thing.
Every sport, and that's what I've been. I've been a crusader, jump rope crusader. Haven't been attached to anyone. My mission is to motivate, educate, and encourage people to jump the right way to get the greatest benefits in the least amount of time. And I don't care if it's CrossFit, I want to help CrossFit. If it's TRX, which is Randy Hetrick, who came to me years ago, I want to educate the TRX world. The most important thing is that these organizations are getting our planet and the human race moving, because the USA, we are in deep trouble.
Yes, we are.
CrossFit has done an excellent job as far as getting millions and millions of people excited about movement. Now it's the CrossFit coaches to become really educated so that they can continue to help their clientele and do it the right way. I've been out there. I'm the guy that started all this technology you see. When you see cross ropes, when you see rope fitness, when you see Reebok, whatever, I am the guy that started jump rope. I'm the guy that started the technology with the external swivel bearing. Anything that you see out there is my technology. We've been around since 1993, and I've been doing this since 1988. And the patent came out in 97. And in the first year, we sold about 2 million jump ropes. The second year in Japan with this technology, and spread it over to the rest of the world. That's the external swivel bearing. And even though it may not look like this on other ropes, they made variations of it. So that's the external swivel is designed.
Oh, yes. Keep talking about that. I'm going to grab one of my ropes and you can compare it because I showed it to Chris, but I'm sharing this for our listeners, guys. I'm sharing this on the YouTube feed. So again, you can go to the Live the Fuel channel or we'll share this on the social media. But what he's talking about, I'm showing the parts, the components of his design that he has created here that he's telling you guys about right now.
Yeah, the RX ropes, all those, that's all my technology. And what they did is found a way around it, but it doesn't make a difference. It shows that my technology and education has inspired the world, but people need to know where it came from. They need to know the roots. We came out with this technology to basically eliminate friction, eliminate drag, and allow the rope to jump with no rope tangle. And no matter what direction you're jumping, forward, backwards, sideways, there's no tangle. So we came up with the bearings to be on the outside of the jump rope. Before, the conventional jump rope used the ball bearings. You're familiar with those, right, Scott? The ball bearings. Yeah, so we came up with external.
I think because I have Chris and I talked about my RX Smart Gear rope. Yeah, he's not a fan of that one.
that's my rope. The reason why that rope can't adjust because they didn't want to make it too much like mine. But RX,
well, wouldn't it have been a patent infringement? You have a patent on yours, right?
I have a patent, but you can get around patents. They're only as good as you can protect it, and you got to have a lot of money to protect it. But what you do, you just keep spinning.
Now he actually said this is a decent rope. This is by Mil Spec.
Yeah, let me see it up close. Yeah, that's the same thing. It's still an external bearing.
Yep.
And they just find different ways to attach it. But I have a rope right now that's coming out, Scott. We have a rope that turns 20 revolutions per second. 20 turns per second. It's the world's fastest jump rope. Okay? And
faster than the Green Hornet with the arrow?
Green Hornet is just basically a great training rope. But when it comes to competition, see, there's a difference. People need to understand why they're getting the rope. Don't get a cable rope when you're just learning how to jump rope. Get a Buddy Lee Rope Master Earl Speed.
Yeah, the PVC cord, right?
PVC, because it's not about cable. You don't get a race car and you don't teach a kid how to drive on a race car.
Chris and I talked about this. We did this is over 3 years ago. I went to my first, we had a person come in from New York City to teach a double unders clinic. And the only ropes they would teach were a PVC cord, but it didn't have your design. It had a basic, it was a plastic handle. They just ran the cord through the handle and they tied it in a knot. It was very, very basic, but that's what they cut and made for every one of us to go through the class with, just down to the basic PVC.
This is okay because you're learning fundamentals. It's not about the rope. It's the body, mechanics of the body, how you hold your hands, how you turn your wrist, the arm position of the arms, where your head position should be, how you make contact with the surface, how you use the whole leg to push through it's so much stuff and so much technical stuff, and then how you turn the rope. So in my lectures and in my certifications, we really get into the science so that people can understand what their body is doing, kinesthetic awareness, where that rope is when they're jumping the whole time. So when Chris was training under me, like many of my certified trainers, you have to learn how to jump blindfolded. So you're jumping where you don't see anything, you feel. That's what jumping is. So that's why in some of my videos you see me doing blindfolded acts. And just recently on ABC, if you've seen the Gong Show, on Walt Disney and ABC about maybe 3 weeks ago, you see me on the Gong Show, and I did a blindfold.
I'll have to look for that on the internet because I don't have cable. I'm too athletic.
I had to come out as a real old man, and then but it was kind of cool, and it tied for first, but then they gave it to a real crazy act, but still it was a great exposure. But getting back to the jump rope stuff, this is what I eat, sleep, and drink. Just to let the world know, Buddy Lee became a US Olympian wrestler so that I could share jump rope with the rest of the world. I didn't care about wrestling. I hated beating up people and all that other stuff, man. I love the fact that I could jump rope at the end of the world championships, and the hosting country would come to me and say, Buddy, we need you to do a performance before everybody. And what I discovered was that this jump rope, simple, inexpensive, portable piece of equipment, would bring the whole world together. Because why? Because the whole planet can relate to this exercise called jump rope. Now, it's our job, CrossFit, TRX, battling ropes, and people like yourself, Scott, to educate the world on how to use this exercise the right way so that we can get them fit and strong for the rest of their lives.
Now, here's a question for you. Down to the youth level, because this is one thing I love about your choice in life here is the jump rope can be applied across multiple domains, multiple fitness levels, multiple sports, and clearly age demographic, right? Because now I've also, it's something else unique to me is, and last season I took off for the first time in 10 or 11 years, but I've been working here locally in the winters in my free time. I also have been a USSA ski race coach. So I work at one of the local ski mountains teaching ski racing to kids. And the biggest frustration, which is why I've actually started stepping away, is because there was no conditioning. There was no other forms of fitness. I'd offer to come up and I would teach a, non-CrossFit, class, something easier for the kids. I've offered to bring the parents in, talk nutrition. They just weren't listening. And I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I need to work with people who are receptive and they want to make change and they want to get healthy because, to your point, here in the USA, we're not going in the right direction. When I started coaching those kids, there was maybe one, maybe two heavy kids. Now there's half the team is heavy, and then they joke around like, "Oh, that's just more weight to take you down the race course. You go faster." And I'm like, that is not how you go faster. You don't get overweight as a child because you can go faster in a race course.
Well, you're saying it, man. You realize the importance of all of us teaming up, and that's what it's going to take. It's not an individual; it's teamwork, and that's why I applaud Greg Glassman. I don't care what people say about CrossFit; he's done an outstanding job as far as creating a concept, a system, and he's getting the world moving. He's getting people moving that would never move because CrossFit, they recruit their friends. Hey, come on out and try this thing out. We're going to make sure you stay motivated. And it's kind of nice because you don't really have too many people at the gym pushing you to be good unless it's just one other person. But the CrossFit community, you got a whole family. And that's what's lacking in our American society is family, community, all those things that support each other. Yeah. So there's a lot of great things in there for me that goes to human relations thing in CrossFit, what it does to human beings. It brings us together, and we need that. We need that kind of unity and people pushing each other. But
it's one of the viral things about CrossFit. I was like, guys, like when people are like, well, how do you pick a box? How do you pick a location? I'm like, it depends on who you are, but I'll tell you right now, I was like, yes, you want to look at the quality of the coaches. You want to bounce around, drop in, see how they communicate, see how they coach you. But I was like, look at the community. Because I've been through multiple box, travel a lot for business. I drop into random boxes in other states, other cities. I love to experience other people's cultures, and I've experienced good and bad. But for most part, to your point here, that's one of the viral things of CrossFit is that you go to a traditional gym. I taught spinning because I'm a huge cyclist. That's why I got the bike art behind me. I'm like, I taught spinning for 5-6 years. But I own road bikes and mountain bikes. I've done 100, 200 mile ride, charity rides. Like I'm a huge biker too. And the thing about spinning was we had our own little niche in the gym. We were our own little community because out in the regular gym, most people didn't talk to each other unless you were like regulars and you did the same classes. There's no community. It's very cold. And I can never go back to a traditional gym. I don't like it. So.
Well, you're exactly right. And that's part of how you shape. How do you shape and mold and transform, human beings? They need to be part of a family, and no matter how bad they are, people need to push them. So that's why I say to that the key to the CrossFit community becoming more educated is up to the individual instructors to become more knowledgeable about each exercise or discipline that they're teaching their clientele. And so, I'm coming back to the USA. I'm all over the world. I was just in Norway doing some stuff there. I'm in China. I'm everywhere. But I need.
You have a gym here too, correct? Don't you have a gym down in Virginia?
It's called Arlington, CrossFit Arlington.
Yeah.
CrossFit Arlington. So we have CrossFit there. It has MMA, different things. So I'm like a silent partner and owner of the gym and stuff. And
Cool.
but I'm doing stuff with I also partner with a jump rope club, which is a jump rope club I started back in the 90s, and now they're like world-class jumpers. They're winning national and world placing with the jump rope. So we test a lot about technology with them. And so I'm involved with every aspect when it comes to fitness. But I like the fact that you have the background in, martial arts, and you understand skiing and all the stuff. You have so much to offer people.
Oh, I'm all over the place. I joked around for people, like, well, what's one of your key sports? I was like, you know what? It took me years to embrace it, but I just realized that I don't need. Some people say you're not a master of one thing, you're a master of many, or you're a master of none, whatever that quote is. I'm like, I like to be a master of many things. I was like, yes, I know you can't truly master that sport unless you're fully dedicated and focused. Like Chris is very heavy into his Taekwondo, but I've always been that way. It's the way I do business. It's the way I've done my education. I mean, hell, I don't know if you heard that on the Chris's, I subtly mentioned it, but real quick for me, I found CrossFit by accident. I left the corporate world at the end of 2009 after going back to school to finish a degree in marketing and psychology as an adult. I worked my way, went on nights and weekends, just sacrificed some of my lifestyle to do that, working full-time, going to school full-time. I want to be the first person in my family to finally finish a degree. And then I made the decision. I said, I'm not ready to return to the corporate world. And I moved out west to Arizona, and through networking and going to fire academies and getting certified, I got to serve with the federal government as a hotshot elite wildland firefighter. So I got onto one of those rare hotshot crews and got to hike, 16 hours a day in the mountains fighting wildfires for 2 years. Whoa. But when I showed up out there on my base, our base was at high altitude. It was at 5,000 feet in the mountains of Arizona. And my squad boss was like, well, excuse me. He's like, you're going to be, you guys are all in for a wake-up call. We're going to be doing 2-a-days for the next 14 days straight. This is your critical training. Welcome. And I'm like, okay, what's a 2-a-day? And he's like, well, we use CrossFit's our foundation. I'm like, what's CrossFit? Yeah. So I was like, that was my wake-up call. And that was literally April 2010. And you said you were dealing with Glassman in 2009. So we're pretty close there.
Yeah, and I met the firefighters, and I salute you for your service to the community and stuff. And I understand about altitude training, but I still remember going to one box in North Carolina, and there was one world champion firefighter who was there. He happened to be an ex-wrestler as well. And I just remember, him being able to reach every community, from policemen and all those other things. And of course, my background, I was a U.S. Marine, a retired U.S. Marine. So. Oh
yeah, I salute you being ex-military, man. I got nothing on that.
Yeah. But just the fact that it was a great, for me to go through the Marines after college, I wouldn't trade it for anything. But my first CrossFit presentation was done at United States Marine Corps, Quantico, Virginia.
And you got to present at Quantico?
Yeah, Quantico, at the same base where I was at the national wrestling team, where we were 5-time USA national champions as a team, and where I spent like 10 out of 11 years training at that same place. So it was kind of nice to be able to do that presentation. And in fact, the presentation that you see on YouTube, where you see the young lady with which is Anna, which is this vice president of Buddy Lee Jump Ropes, we did it together. That presentation, the girl in pink, and we're showing double unders. And so that was the first presentation that I did for Greg.
Oh, is that the one that was published by CrossFit?
Yeah, published by CrossFit. And then that same presentation, that same YouTube, whatever you call it, that video was shown like maybe 6 million times, and I had people take it down because people were like, yeah, that one. And people were taking it and making a lot of money off of it. And they had like 6-8 million hits on it. And some people took it down, so it's now back there. But yeah, that's like the first place. That's where I trained at to become a US Olympian. Thank you, US Marine Corps. Hoorah.
That's awesome.
And it's Quantico, Virginia. That base just got taken down about a year ago. And in that base, that's where we had, our team was 5-time USA champion. and you had to be number one in the country, top three in the country to stay on a national team. And
Wow.
in my team, it was comprised of Olympians, world champions. We had Olympic silver medalists. It was amazing environment to train, to develop into, a US Olympian, one of the best athletes in the world for wrestling.
That's legit. I mean, that's one thing I will respect about the military. It's funny because when I was a kid, I was being approached by all the military branches because I took one of those ASVAB tests in school and I scored like highest in my class. So like all summer long, like, oh, here, I'm like, no, I wanted nothing to do with the structure. And even though, like, again, it's a very good system to get people kind of, I don't want to use the word reprogram, but give you structure in your life and give you focus and dedication. And yeah, there's the fitness benefits, the mental benefits, the psychological benefits. But admittedly, when I was younger, I didn't know any better and I was against all that. And then the funny thing is, again, years later, I literally was in my I was like 31, 32 when I made the decision to do the Forest Service, federal government wildland firefighting. And because I was a hot shot, I realized that, holy crap, the entire fundamentals of being a hot shot came from the Marine Corps. We were very militaristic. We were trained at a whole different level.
Yeah, I see you as a SEAL. I see you as a Navy SEAL. You look like a SEAL, like a Ranger. You like one of those guys, extreme kind of guys and stuff. A lot of my former wrestling mates, they became Navy SEALs, Rangers, and
Wow.
wrestling. When they go into the military, they always excel because we have, in the sport of wrestling, is so disciplined. But I tell you what, going into the Marine Corps just took me to a whole nother level of thinking, behaving, and it really provided me with an ideal environment to train to become my best, because I was training 10 to 12 hours a day. I got paid for actually being a world-class athlete.
Yeah.
And I was doing motivational talks for the Marine Corps. So it was an amazing transition from the Marine Corps in 1993. And then I became my own boss and never worked for anyone since 1993. And that's what I've been doing, sharing the love of fitness and jump rope fitness with the world for the past, 25, 30 years and over 6,000 presentations around the world.
Well, I mean, and that's a definition right there of hustle, right? Let's be real. I mean, nowadays, especially with, and just to help you understand, like for this podcast show, a lot of my listeners, I specifically wanted to target two demographics: Gen X, because I'm Gen X, and this upcoming millennial generation, because a lot of people are saying the millennials are lazy, and I'm like, no, they're not lazy. They're looking for purpose. They're looking for direction. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for mentorship, coaching, whatever you want to call it. So I was like, if I could help just generate some positive content from bringing on great co-hosts like you, great. We're hopefully helping create some consistent content for them to follow and make good decisions. Because what you just said there, you did over 6,000 presentations and you've been an entrepreneur since 93, and you chose to build a business off of something that you're passionate about. But let's be real, passion doesn't get the job done. That helps. But you had to put a lot of other work in place to build a business and a platform to where you're at today.
Well, you're exactly right. And I think that's what our parents had to go through, their parents. And there's a new generation. Thanks for Zuckerman. He told you that you could become a billionaire at age 19. And the young generation, you take some of these guys, they don't want to be millionaires anymore. They want to be billionaires. And this technology, of course, just to let you guys know this, that the internet came out in the 80s and stuff. It came out in the 80s. It was invented by the military. So I was in the very beginning of when things were going computerized. Went to college in the 80s, 82 or whatever. And so to see what's happening now and sitting on boards and,
it's pretty profound, right?
Oh my gosh, you see what these young people are doing. So the reality is, guys like me, we have to partner with you guys and say, hey, let's do this together, young buck. Let's make a difference. But for me, it's not about money. The passion for me is, how do I teach the rest of the world the things I learned in my journey of just trying to be the best person I could be? And thank God for sports. It taught me a lot of that. But how do I teach you that you have everything inside you to be just as good or even better? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference how much money you have. It's about us reinvesting in each other, helping each other. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, I could never, ever become who I am today or become an Olympic athlete if I didn't have great role models, people who care, my coaches, my teachers. Thank you, Mom, for raising 6 kids by yourself and never abandoning us. 6 kids would have ran us crazy. And my father was a Vietnam vet, but he was not the same. And then my school teachers and my coaches and people who mentor me. And that's what it's about, man. If they weren't there for me, I could never be as disciplined and focused as I was as a kid and as I am today. So we're in this thing together, and we need each other, because the old school can teach you something about self-discipline. It can teach you when you get knocked on your butt that you have everything inside of you to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, forgive yourself, and recommit and become even better. So in my lectures, in my presentations, you're not learning about jump rope. You're learning about how to be successful in life.
The mental game is huge. The mental game is huge. I bring on there's a local sports psychology group here called Mind of the Athlete. And I bring on their nutritionist, and I've had on all of the sports psychologists, but one of them, Dr. Megan, shout out to her. I just aired her episode a couple of shows ago. But she's a regular co-host, because what you and I are talking about here is mindset. Again, what the mind says, the body will follow, right? But it's like you have to build this bulletproof mindset. And let's be real, even to where you're at today and I'm at today, we still have good days and bad days. We're human. It just comes down to the reps that we put in to get to where we are today. That's what helps us overcome those bad days or bad moments or whatever. It's like you just got to get beyond. Like, we're going to make a mistake. There's something that's not going to work right. Like right now for you, you're joking around about how, man, I got to figure out this social media thing, right? We're always learning something new. We're always going to be needing new lessons learned, and we're going to be making new mistakes, because the power of making a mistake means that you learn not to do that again. And you took away so many things from that mistake. That's something else I'm always coaching people on too. It's like, dude, embrace making mistakes. Stop trying to be perfect all the time. That's how you learn some of the most powerful things in life, is making a mistake.
Well, you can never be who you are unless you have mistakes, and that's part of the making of the self, is the mistakes and everything. That's where the knowledge is. And I wouldn't trade for anything. And when it comes to going to the next level in life and anything, it's about partnerships. And you're not going to have all the knowledge, so you have to recruit and get great partnerships and relationships that you build on. And so that's what it is for me. I mean, I know what I'm good at. But at the same time, I have to recruit the other aspects of business so that it can be complete. And the social media and telemarketing, or however you want to define it, it is everything. I don't care how great your product or service is. If you're not in with social media and telemarketing, it's like you get left behind.
Some people are Twitter people, some people are Instagram people, some people are Facebook people, some people are good old fashioned email, email marketing. So it is a struggle. And I tell people, like, you got to pick 1 or 2 platforms and try and crush it with those. And then when you have the free time or your team gets built out, then start crushing it in the other areas. Right now, as long as you exist, that's a good thing, again, for our listeners, guys. Again, BuddyLeeJumpRopes.com, but he does exist on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I'll have it all linked in the show notes like we always do. We always have very detailed show notes on the website so everybody can follow you and make an easier way of tracking you down. But you're doing all the right stuff. You exist. That's phase 1. Then it's putting in the reps.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny, though, because you've spent years mastering the jump rope, and now you have to as a team figure out how to master all this new technology to make sure more people can learn from the successes and the losses that you've learned over the years with that jump rope.
Yes. I mean, we're keeping up to date and stuff. And like you say, you need to get the right kind of team. There's some deals that we almost made in the last year. We just made some deals here. And we're out there. It's just that the internet is just like a big ocean. And so there's a lot of crap out there. And it's just like television. There's a lot of crap on television. Now you have to learn the knowledge of how to distinguish what is BS and what is the real deal. Mm-hmm. Look for the real deal, and you can travel real quick. You can cut out a lot of the guesswork and the trials and error and stuff like that. To find the truth, you have to basically be open-minded, not just being, impressed by someone because they look a certain way or whatever. I tell you what, man, you don't see too many young bucks coaching these world-class football and basketball teams. It's the old school, these old coaches that have the knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
And They have the knowledge. They have the understanding of the mental aspects of it, every aspect of it. And that's what knowledge is, man. It just doesn't come overnight. It's with time. And
with time and patience and consistency.
That's right. Time, patience, and consistency, and you have to search for it. So what my mission is really just giving people the truth. And I think that once you have an opportunity to have an experience of going through a certification with me, then I think you'll be just like Chris. You walk away being like, whoa. Because we kind of redefine. We bring science and technology together to redefine jump rope. No one is talking about jump rope in the way we're talking about it.
No. You guys have definitely set yourself apart from all the research I've done. I was like, wow, okay, this is a different level.
Yeah, and you see the book, and the jumpers out there, and let me just hand it to you. Yeah, you got people that can do their world champion jumpers and all this stuff. I never was a world champion jumper. What I was an Olympic athlete, world champion athlete that took this exercise and made it part of my training and won over 20 national titles in a whole different discipline. But what I did in the process, when I was striving for athletic excellence, I started researching and the science behind this exercise. And then I started lecturing at every sport from the Olympic level. I was the official jump rope conditioning coach for all the Olympic teams. I was the official jump rope fitness expert, the fitness experts for all of the US government. Then I came on and I was the official jump rope expert for all of CrossFit. And then TRX partnered with me to start educating jump rope for all the TRX. So I learned how this exercise worked for every kind of athlete on the planet, for every kind of person on the planet. I can teach you how to jump as a kid, as a person who's 90 years of age. I can show you how to use this exercise to lose weight. I can show you how to use this exercise to rehabilitate your body. I can show you how to use this exercise to become more confident and become the best business person you can be. So it's every aspect of this. I show you how to use this for mind, body, and spirit to become your best.
And I'm guessing a lot of that is being channeled into that new book then, the 101 Best Jump Roping Workouts. Are you going to be hitting on all those levels in there?
They wanted me to just come out with a workout book, so I had to educate them that people just don't jump into jump rope. There's some prerequisites. So in this book, it's just going to be mainly workouts for people who think they know how to jump, but I'm going to sneak in my 3-step system, which is we haven't talked about, teaching you how to break down a skill, learn the skill, how to become proficient, how to safely progress from 1 jump to 500 jumps and build up to 10 minutes of jumping, and then how to put into programs. So I'm going to teach that in the little beginning, that you got to understand this sequence so that when you do these programs, you don't have to worry about these injuries. Like, like the
ankle injuries and
ankles, feet, all these other injuries associated with improper jumping, the landing too hard, landing flat-footed, and all these other things. So yes, in this book, it'd be mainly programs. And then we create a website where people can come in and become certified and then learn other programs on how to prevent injuries or whatever. So there's a lot of work to do.
I definitely agree with that because, again, I mean, teaching spinning, I was Johnny G, is one who invented the original spinning bike. I was certified under his program.
Yes, I know Johnny G. I remember when he first came out with it, with the spinning.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like you got to find the best and follow those programs. Like, I mean, just like CrossFit, the reason why they got so successful is he built a system. And the system has to be something that can be followed, replicated, or built upon. And that's all you're doing here is you already have an existing system. Now you're going to amplify the system. So it's pretty cool.
That's right. So Chris is one of our ambassadors. We can make you one of our ambassadors because we have a big audience. And then we, Vinny, guys like that, Rob and Mike, I just did their show. And for me, it's reaching the people who have the greatest influence on people and who knows their stuff. Because for me, it's about truth. It's not about money. It's about how do we educate people the right way? Because when you teach people the right way, then they become your mouthpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put any words in Chris. Actually, I've known Chris for about maybe, how long? Maybe since April,
Wow, that fast.
Disciple. Yeah, he's a disciple, but he's the real deal because he has the background, martial arts, and he's a Christian, he's a good person as well. And he's done the sports stuff, and he understands what is good and what is bad, how to integrate things into their training to enhance their performance. So that's what we want to do. What we want to do is give the CrossFit community the truth, how to break the skill down. We want to be partners with the CrossFit coaches so that they can continue to help their clientele to get better. With the system in place, 3-step system I have that takes out the guesswork, eliminate learning curves, but teach you the right way to jump rope so that you can get the greatest benefits in the least amount of time.
Well, I got to say, I mean, just your passion alone is what I was drawn towards when I saw the videos. And then obviously Chris and I were talking, because that's what this is really about, right? It doesn't matter what program, what skill you're teaching in life is, you got to have the energy. You can't fake the energy. You can't fake the passion, especially someone like yourself who has stretched that over how many years now doing it. And that's what truly builds success in people. I tell people, like, stop going for the short win and the short gains. Like, you got to be working with people that have been, put it in for the long haul, because that's how you build consistency. That's how you prove to people that this is a proven system, because it's been here for a while. I'm not saying I love startups. I love all these Kickstarters and entrepreneurial pursuits and these launches of new products and new services. But the ones who are going to make it last, those are the ones that are going to be around for a while. And those are the ones you probably be able to build a little bit more trust behind, because they've put in the reps consistently and they keep going and they haven't stopped. And you've been around a while. So it's like, all right, this is a program that's been around a little while. It's being used by multiple sports, military, everything else. Is like, okay, guys, there's something to this one. It doesn't hurt that you're a former Olympian.
Oh, yeah. Well, once Olympian, always Olympian. Once a Marine, always a U.S. Marine. Hoorah.
Yep.
So, but I just want to add to that, Scott, you're exactly right. But people need to understand that the passion is one thing, but the passion to help you to find how amazing you can be. So through this jump rope, I'm able to connect with people that teach them that they have everything inside of themselves to have an amazing life and be the best person they can be. And that jump rope can teach you that. So when I'm teaching, I'm happy that I'm still able to demonstrate what it is that I can teach, to walk the walk and talk the talk. But, I've been out there so long, and there's so many people that's using my system, millions around the world. I don't need to be able to demonstrate what it is that I do. I mean, just follow the education. My books have been around for the last, since 2000. Wow. My book published. Now Random House came to me to do 101 best jump rope workouts. That's huge. And then the other things. But, hey, we're here because we want to sell you the truth. We want to give you the right recipe to help people so that you can continue to, make a difference.
Well, and that's what I love about it. So, and actually, this will be a great spot maybe to bring the show to a close. So, again, for our listeners, and I'm actually going to, for the YouTube feed, I'm going to share this again here, guys, because, again, love the website, by the way. I've already bought the book, because actually, here's a little hack for the guys watching this video or listening on the podcast. If you're interested at all in actually learning something, don't just buy the book. I mean, actually buy like the little group package thing. It's like $80, and they throw the book in. Like, so I've got like the intro program with the book. So I could just pay $20 and buy the book, but then you I feel like you're missing all the components. And I've spent way more money on training programs and CrossFit equipment and everything else. Like spending $80 for just to get into the training process, and then it throws the book in. Like, that was a no-brainer. I just didn't even care.
Yeah. Online course, if you're a trainer and you're looking at how to break this down and teach your people, look at the Abilities Jump Rope Training online course, which is about $80. You get the book and everything, and you can, get a rope added in. But the main thing is, Scott, what is a jump rope without the program? And what is a program without the right equipment? So to have the recipe to success, you need the right kind of equipment, and you need programs to follow and a recipe. And what we've done is giving you a step-by-step recipe on how to master this, so that you can make it doubles, triple, quadruple, even quintuple unders, with the system. So that's
I learned something new today. That was a new one that I didn't even know existed. The quintuple unders. I was like, what?
That's 5 unders. Yeah, that's the world record and stuff like that. But that's not important for people to be able to do quintuple unders or even triple unders. I mean, there's so many other basic single jumps they can do, just like your fiance, and still get amazing benefits and not injure them. So,
and that's the most important thing there, is like, guys, like, it's cool to know that you could take the program to that level, but let's be real. Like, the average everyday person, even the average everyday CrossFit athlete, like, nobody needs to go beyond a double under. Like, if anything, just watching some of your videos on YouTube, it's like, there's so much stuff you can do just with singles. I mean, the one I can't wait to start learning the better 1 foot back and forth and all that. Like I said, I got a lot to learn. So well, listen, Buddy Lee, I appreciate you making the time, man. I know you're, what are you, like 7 hours different from us, right?
7 hours difference. Be back in the USA on Thursday and stuff. So I'll be back on East Coast time and then ready for some stuff. But hey, it's just been an honor to be able to come on your show and be able to share my passion, my love. This is what I eat, sleep, and drink. Just helping people and stuff. And I think you have a great show, and I really appreciate you bringing me on to share my passion to help people.
And that's the whole point of why I created a show like this. That's why you're a co-host and you're not a guest. I'm not like interviewing you. It's you and I hanging out because that's a platform, right? I want to provide a platform to help people like with great voices like yourself get more people understanding and learning about this, because that's the whole goal. Like when this show goes out, great. That's just more people that are going to now know who the heck Buddy Lee is and how this is like literally the root the best system out there to look at for jumping rope, no matter what your lifestyle is. Again, I have listeners on here who are not CrossFitters. So this is just powerful, powerful day. And it was just so cool learning more about your background and where you came from and where you're at today. And again, I'm excited for you to go to the CrossFit Games. That's going to be awesome too. But let me give you a solid closeout here. We always allow our co-hosts to have the final words of the show. And since you're such a powerful motivational speaker, I'm sure you've got some way to leave something nice behind for our listeners. But that's where, listen, even though it's my platform, I want you to be able to close out the show and just leave behind anything that really is important to you that you wanted to share to our listeners. If they forget everything else we talked about today, they can at least leave with this, and this is just something you're leaving behind for them.
CrossFitters, I just want to say, you guys continue to follow Scott. He's the real deal. But most importantly, I want to say, CrossFitters, I'm proud of all of you guys for staying fit, staying in the community. Keep doing what you're doing. What you're doing is learning how to get fit and be strong. And remember, you're going to become an ambassador and role model, and people are going to be looking up to you to teach them. So learn what it is that you're doing, learn the right way. And I'm here for you. I've been around. I'm going to be at the CrossFit Games. So if you're going to be there, make sure you stop by my booth, say hello and stuff, and feel free to ask me any questions. But once again, my mission is to motivate, educate, and encourage you guys to jump rope the right way so that you can get the greatest benefits in the least amount of time. Rope to success. Buddy
I love
Lee.
that. Wow. Rope to success, people. Well, hang tight, buddy. I'm going to give you a proper goodbye. I'm just going to close out the show here, and then we'll close out. So again, to our listeners, guys, that is Buddy Lee of BuddyLeeJumpRopes.com. This was another powerful episode. You guys could take away so much from this, from the mental aspect, the lifestyle aspect, not just the fitness aspect. This guy's been around the block, and he's former military. I respect that so much. So again, to our listeners, guys, this is what we're all about here, okay? We're talking about health, business, and lifestyle. So keep living a fired up, epic life, and we'll talk to you guys again soon. And you're clear of the pod. So
All right. How do we do? Did we do?
I think we had enough energy. That's why it's like I actually will dial my energy back a little bit, because that way I knew you wouldn't be a problem for you to have high energy, but sometimes I get a little crazy, so I have to.
Oh, no, man, that's what shares. People got to feel your passion, man. Feel your energy, and you know, Scott. The thing about it, man, is that when it comes to influencing world, we have to use everything that God has given us. All right, you're a businessman. You got the military. You got the background as far as firefighters. Dealing with sports teaching stuff. You're doing the CrossFit stuff. So what it makes you more real. You can reach more people. You're not just a CrossFitter. You're a little bit of everything, man. I can show you how to do business and show you do that. And when it comes to transforming the world and helping people, you got to have a lot of things in your little bag to say, hey, at least I got this. Can I get your attention with this? I got a belly rope. Can I get your attention with this? And that's what it's about. So when people deal with me, they're not dealing with just a jump roper. No way. I'm not an Olympic athlete. I'm a little bit of everything. I'm an author. I'm an inventor. I'm educated. I've done this. It's a little bit of everything. And that's what we got to use, man, to basically shape to help to impact the world. But also the universe brings you partners. Mm-hmm. They bring you other people that helps to reinforce your message and make it more credible.
I tell people the same thing all the time, man. Like I haven't spoken as much as you, but now in the past year, I'm actually speaking at another event coming up in about a month or so. But like now all of a sudden I'm getting more into public speaking because I've got all the years of the sales and marketing background. Plus I've already literally stood and stared down walls of fire in the wilderness. So I was like, things don't really faze me much anymore, man. Like, cause you keep doing all this crazy stuff in your life. Like I'm going skydiving on Wednesday again this week. So it's like, I just do crazy stuff. So it's like, I keep putting in those reps to keep bulletproofing myself so I can keep expanding my lifestyle. Cause like to your point, we can connect with so many other people then with different lifestyles through charity work, through different sports, or just adrenaline junkie activities or different career choices, whatever. And I think it's really a part of our responsibility to keep doing stuff like that.
That's right. We have a response. Once you reach a certain level, you have a responsibility to reinvest back in human beings. And the more things that you experience and that you kind of master, whatever, that's knowledge. That's knowledge that we share. I mean, skydiving, first thing you say when you say skydiving, I didn't hear skydiving. I heard, how do you overcome fears?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do people ever accomplish or become anything if they can't overcome phobias and stuff? So, I mean, skydiving to me is like, man, if you got fears, here's one way you can overcome it. Different things that we have to connect with people, because I'm telling you, man, I get so many emails from around the world, people thanking me, and they're in high positions of like CEOs for companies, working Fortune 500 companies, thanking me for the impact that I made on their lives 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So you never know what it is that's going to make that impact and shape people's lives. So for me, I'm living the dream, man. I'm living the dream anytime when I have a platform where I can share what it is that I love and people understand that's the host that understands what it is that I'm presenting. Hey, I mean, what can you say? I mean, you're reaching people and hopefully they connect with you. And
that's all I can do. Like you said, I've figured out how to launch a podcast show. You don't have one, so it's like if nothing else, I'm trying to give back that way. And people are like, I have people all the time like, so what do you do? Do you have to pay people to come on your show? And I'm like, no, I just reach out to people and say, hey, if you want to come on and grow your online presence, I can help you do that because this is audio, this is video, and I exist on social media and I have a website. So it's just, I'm creating new content for you and myself, obviously, but we're working together on this. And that's how cool this is. Like people who have the marketing mindset, they'll eventually get it, but it's like not everybody gets it. I'm like, hey, if you've got a powerful message, a powerful product, a powerful service, and it can relate to either health, business, or lifestyle, I'm bringing you on the show. And if there's a few people I'm still stalking that I really want to get on, but for the people that are open-minded like yourself and like, hey, man, I'm ready to get more content out there and get my message out there, let's do it. And I love the fact that you jumped on it so quickly.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I jumped on because I know that I'm going to get really busy when I get back. And then plus you had Chris on, so he's doing a good job, doing stuff before me. And then since he's doing it, opening the doors, I say, okay, let me just follow up. So he did a great job. Anything you want to do where we can work together, I'd be happy to get back on. And let me just show you something that you haven't seen. I don't know why he didn't talk about this, and I didn't either. But here's it. Oh,
nice. Well, that has so that handle of that other rope that I showed you, that has like that free spin, but they don't have that link.
This is a spin going to another level.
Okay.
It's going to another level. So it looks like it's going slow, but it's really, really spin fast. So
that's fast.
Second, and they broke the world record in China. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, and so I'm coming out with some technology also that counts about 10,000 people at one time. All kinds of stuff that's going to get my.
If you show that at the games at your vendor tent, like a little teaser, trust me, you'll get people interested in that.
They're available now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
These are available now, so I don't know why I didn't talk about it, but yeah, this is available now. These are the new ropes we're bringing out at the show. So I've never been there. I have no idea, but I'm hoping to connect with Greg and them and see if we can get back on that platform because that's where I need to be.
And you have the history and you have the respect. I think that'd be a no-brainer for him. So I would totally play on that relationship and try and reconnect that way because especially if you were there in the beginning and it shows, hey, guess what? I'm still here.
Yeah. In the beginning, I've just been everywhere else, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and life happens, right? Like not everybody, I guarantee you, if you look at the history of CrossFit, there's been so many products that have come in and come out and CrossFit's embraced it, not embraced it. Like there's different nutrition companies and bar companies and blah, blah, blah. It's just so much stuff. So
that's what happened to when I was there. It's just too many. We was good. Him and his wife, we were working on the jump rope cert. And then after that, they start having a running cert. They having this cert. That's like, how the hell can you promote the cert if you got all these other certs? And why would you want to be certified in jump rope when they're just doing the double unders?
And it's expensive. No, I mean, I love CrossFit, but I purposely am not going to go for my CFL2 because it's another $1,000+ I would rather invest that in like Valerie Pawlowski's program. She's Team USA, man. Like she's a world champion kettlebell. I was like, I'd rather go learn her program and diversify my certifications.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, and she's right here in New Jersey. So, cause I'm right here in Eastern Pennsylvania, she's right in New Jersey. So like I can go visit her like in an hour.
That's where you're at, Eastern Pennsylvania?
Yeah. I'm right in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We're an hour north of Philadelphia.
Well, that's where you ever heard of Forza boxing?
Forza? Why do I know that name? Forza?
Yeah. Forza, MMA.
Yeah, there's a lot of MMA and stuff up here.
They're kind of quiet. That's like a company that I'm working with now to take over my brand for the globally. They sell about 10,000 different products.
Oh, and, wow!
Right in Pennsylvania, and I think I go through Allentown. But yeah, I'm close by, and I have to come back.
If it's Forza, get the hell out of here. There's a Forza sporting goods.
He just put it up
in Penargil, Pennsylvania, which is where I went to high school.
And how far away is that? Like 30 minutes?
It's like 25 minutes from me because I'm in Allentown. They're just north. It's right just south of the Pocono Mountains, just north of us here in Easton, Allentown, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania here. Because we're only an hour from Philly and about an hour from New York City.
Yeah, we just put that up.
I'm on ForzaMMA.com.
Yeah,
and they sell all kinds of products.
That's my partner. Well,
Get out.
Let me just say something to you. I got a business idea, so let me just think about it. But there's maybe some possibilities of doing some really good business.
Okay. Yeah.
And let me just think about it because since you're so close, that's huge. And right now we're finishing up our partnership, but I want to see what we can do on a bigger scale, because I think that you can be in a position where you have stuff working for you just like Vinny does, and you get the mailbox money where things are working for you. And
I mean, I've had since firefighting in Arizona, I've been an Isogenics guy for years. That's my nutrition company. So they're a whole network marketing business model, but I've had money showing up every Monday since 2011. So
you want to do that with different products, and we can do that with folks, and we can do it with other stuff. But I'm just thinking that we're going to do some stuff with him.
Well, and I actually promote Vinny's vitamins, even though I have a nutrition business and vitamins through Isogenics. On livethefield.com, I have a resources page. I put his Pure Vitamin Club on there because I used his products. I was like, that is a quality product. It's pure. I told him, I don't care if I have another business. I was like, if you put out a quality product, I want to support that. That's awesome. So I've never seen a magnesium supplement like the one he created. It's powerful. So
he created that, or he had some people create it?
No, well, I mean, he worked with scientists to figure out what he wanted, but that's his company. That's his magnesium supplement. That's his multivitamin. That is, he just came out with a B12 because a lot of people are B12 deficient, especially if you're vegans and vegetarians. But his brand is Pure Vitamin Club. He wants nothing that's not natural in that product. And it took him a few years to create it, but now he's got it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
We had a great show, man. We were just like brothers.
Yeah, man. You guys connected on so much history, Louisiana and everything else. And it was so cool because I've had Vinny on 2 or 3 times now. And he was one of my mentors that helped kind of inspire me to create Live the Fuel, the podcast show, because I've been listening to podcasts for 4 years. So he was one of the shows that I always listened to. And I finally said, you know what? I've got a different voice. I've got a different platform that I want to create. And I wanted to keep the same conversational style that he has. Like if people accidentally swear, I don't edit it out either. I'm like, listen, this is the way it is. If you don't like it, don't listen.
Well, that's the way it is now on TV. I mean, it's like everybody's swearing. You know, it's like, okay. I mean, even Greg Glassman, didn't he swear in his presentation? Did he swear?
I think so. I mean, because again, I mean, and it happens. But and real quick, by the way, is this the guy Forza?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got about 10,000 different products.
Okay, because I'm on ForzaMMA.com, and when I went to the Google, just since I'm already looking at it, I literally cracked up because I graduated from Penn Argyl High School, and his address right here says Sporting Goods Store in Penn Argyl, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he just put that up. That's like 2 weeks old or stuff like that. And he everything. He's a young guy. He created an empire.
That's crazy. Is he from this area?
Yeah, he's from the whatever Poconos or whatever they are.
Yeah. What's his name?
Jason. I don't know. Jason Grimes or whatever. Grimes.
I don't know. Maybe he's actually from Poconos then, or Glime. Okay.
He's 31 though. He's only 31.
Former Forza Boxing. There you go. That's hilarious. That's kind of cool though. I mean, I haven't been up to Penn Argyl. I drive by there on the highway all the time. I don't get off and go there. There's a climbing gym there. I've gone climbing there.
Yeah. It's
small world.
Yeah, small world. So when you say Pennsylvania, really? So yeah, I'm doing some stuff with him, but I definitely would like to do more if we can with the jump rope and stuff, because it's, I didn't really give you some questions to ask me, but it's just the stuff that I'm hitting is everybody. But is your station geared towards the CrossFit community? That's what it is?
It's more. It's higher level than that. Obviously, I am a CrossFitter, so that does relate a little bit. But no, like I said, my tagline, but the brand is "Live the Fuel." But the tagline for the show is "We fuel your health, business, and lifestyle." So I said I kept a much more higher level, so I can expand outward. That's why, like, whenever I bring on Vinny a couple times, like we've talked about a lot of different things. It's not just vitamins, or we've talked about his vitamins, obviously, but we've talked about his book, Fitness Confidential, in the beginning. And then I've brought on his co-founder of Pure Vitamin Club, Andy Schreiber. And usually he and I geek out more on the science behind how they designed, the vitamins, because people don't understand all this white labeling, that's happening in the market. Right. So, I mean, I've had on his other co-host, Anna Vocino. She published the book Eat Happy. I brought her on already. We've talked about the Eat Happy cookbook, because hers is the whole grain-free type of cooking and everything. Oh, yeah, like, that's just on the health side. I've brought on authors, biologists, PhDs, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I think, Vinny, I didn't know how big his podcast was, but he's close to like 900 million.
Yeah, and ever since he started being a guest on Adam Carolla, the famous comedian, that blew him up, because now like Adam Carolla is freaking huge. Like, he's got the most successful podcast show anywhere. And because what's that?
Over the guy that does the MMA, what's his name?
He speaks at the MMA events. He's the guy on the microphone. His show is huge too. God, have you been on his show?
No, they're trying to get me on those shows and stuff like that. I've turned down so many podcasts in the past because I didn't know what they were, and people would say, "Hey, could you be on our podcast?" I was just too busy traveling, especially when you get to China, you can't get them or anything. But now I realize that, and then with this new book coming out and what they want to do with it, and this team that I got behind me, it's like, whoa, it's time to go to the next level.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Joe Rogan.
Rogan, yeah.
Joe Rogan, yeah. Even my fiance does not listen to a lot of podcasts. She loves Joe Rogan. So there you go. And then he's got a huge show because his name is so big in the MMA world. So, yeah.
That's where I was. I was going to be doing stuff in the MMA world. So we had a deal that was going on with that. It didn't go through, but it's probably good that it didn't, because people that wanted to launch my brand, they got really sick and their brand died, especially when Reebok took over.
Oh.
Reebok took over and stuff like that. So
interesting.
And killed a lot of the other brands that were promoting the fighters. They didn't get any exposure. So if you had fighters that you were sponsoring, and when it came to the UFC competing, they made a deal, that $100 million deal with Reebok, and so they couldn't show anything. So they kind of killed out a lot of people. Yeah,
Reebok did the same thing in the CrossFit space, and then last year, I guess their licensing was in transition. So all of a sudden, Nike was able to jump in and start making and blowing up their CrossFit themed shoes and lifting shoes and everything else. So
who's there now? Nike?
Well, I don't know if Nike's like the big headliner, but they were allowed to start promoting Nike because, again, historically, the games have always been called the Reebok CrossFit Games. And
Nike decided they want to come in and make
well, they weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to brand anything CrossFit because Reebok owned that license for the past few years. And now, well, this one's still called the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games. So they're still the headliner. But now, like, half my athletes own Nike shoes. Really? So Nike has created their own CrossFit standard CrossFit shoe and a CrossFit lifter shoe for the Olympic lifters. So
yeah, that's what they got to do. They need stuff that's going to support the hills and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But what I have to do is get in with one of the big guys. I have to get in either and Road Fitness is in there, but I need to get in with the guys that basically have the ability to get into all the gyms and influence these people to start getting certified in different ways and stuff. Not even certified, more. The trainers need to be, they don't need to be killed with money and stuff like that. They need to be getting knowledge.
Yeah.
And have continuing education credits or whatever the deal is. But the main thing is to continue to be educated on what is jump rope, what is weightlifting, what is kettlebells, how to do this thing the right way, level 1, 2, 3, 4, and it doesn't kill them as far as money-wise.
Yeah, like I said, CrossFit's brand, because it's gotten so big, like, you know, it was $1,000 for my first level. That's why I put it off so long. I'm like, $1,000? Like, it's crazy.
It was like that for the longest. No, it was like that for the longest, even since 2008. They just, that's kind of good. They just kept it at there.
They were smart. I get it why too, because they say, listen, it's a higher entry point, so they want to make sure you're serious and you're ready to get after it. But I also, when I attended my class, there was a woman there. She had never even CrossFitted before. And I was like, why are you here? She's like, I just want to learn how to properly CrossFit. I was like, yeah, but then when you leave here today, you have the same certification that I have.
Yeah.
So it's like, technically, you could go start teaching in class unless, I mean, now granted, if a gym owner is intelligent, he's going to test and evaluate you as a coach before he or she lets you influence the athletes. But still, I just didn't like that. I'm like, I would not allow a CFL 1 for that.
There's no guidelines. See, that's why it hasn't been embraced by the exercise science community.
Nope.
Because people have to have fundamentals or understanding of exercise science.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't understand how the energy system works, you don't understand about muscles, how the hell are you going to properly teach people? And you're saying that just a 2-day workshop is going to basically give you the knowledge on how to train world-class athletes? And that's why I say, start searching for the truth and start getting these, you know, fly-by-night things. And CrossFit, they've created a community. Now all they need to do is just go in, revamp things, and make it better. They don't need to
they just have to level it up. And a level 2 is not necessarily leveling it up. But I will admit, like, I looked at getting a level 2. I looked at getting their endurance cert because I run Spartan races and stuff like that because I love endurance because I'm a cyclist, you know. So it's like, but then I'm like, you know, I don't need your labeled certification. It's a marketing tool. I can go, like I said, and study from Valerie and get a high level, high ranking CrossFit certification, not CrossFit, but kettlebell certification, and diversify my portfolio. And that's really more of my style in life anyway. Like, I like having a piece of different schools of thought because then I can extrapolate the best practices from all of them and realign them together and have them all feed off of each other.
That's what MMA is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mixed martial arts, right? There you go.
Everything. No one martial arts has the knowledge, and they take a little boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, judo, a little bit of everything, and that's what you have to be as a coach.
Yeah.
So that's kind of here, and that's kind of like maybe you're like what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, that's another way or angle of how to influence the CrossFit market. Why not? Why just talk about the CrossFit world when you're coming in with a whole different level of thought about basically learning how to be an expert at every area that you're teaching?
True.
Clientele, because when these guys lose their clientele, they don't really understand the business side. So because you have the business background.
Oh, I've had this has come up before. A lot of people are like, I know every owner of every CrossFit gym around here. I got at least 12 gyms around me within 30 minutes or less. And I know them all. And it just, some are doing business the right way, some are not. So some I've tried to help, and then I've just stepped away. I'm like, you don't get it. Maybe we're too close. I think we have too close of a relationship. Like my fiance goes to a different gym that I coach at. I coach in Bethlehem. She goes to the one here in Allentown. So I like it because I just drop in on him and I just work out with him, the owner, Rob, all the time. And actually, I'm trying to bring Valerie Pulowski in to teach a kettlebell clinic. And I just got done introducing Rob and her last week because I want to launch in his facility because it's neutral. I'm not a coach there. I'm just somebody help bringing in somebody with amazing amount of skill. And so now we're looking at running an event for that. So,
yeah, but that's kind of like what I want to do with the jump rope thing. I got some things in mind where we want to create a jump rope fitness craze and then start doing some stuff. So we'll keep you on the loop with that.
Oh yeah, man. And you guys got to definitely take some really good quality photos, or if you get a couple of athletes to swing by, like video them using your ropes in front of your tent and stuff. Like you want to run that Facebook Live type of stuff. Cause that's just just so you know, viral content right now is, if you have a Facebook profile, like go Facebook Live and like have is Chris going there with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Like either him or you on your page, like go Facebook Live and like show people, like, hey, we're live at the games. Here's so-and-so walking up, trying out our ropes, and like show that live interactivity, because that's just content that you can always have on file later, and you could share later, and you can have somebody take all that content and make one big like YouTube video afterwards saying, hey, here's a summary of the 2017 CrossFit Games, our experiences there. Like something more just real, down to earth. It doesn't have to be overly produced and overly fancy as far as video content goes, but it's real, stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you. That's good feedback. Are you going to be at the games?
I don't think so. I have so much going on. Like I said, my fiance just won her comp last week, and she's literally training right now for her first Olympic triathlon happening in the next 2 weeks. So our schedules are crazy. And then we're leaving to go to, in a couple of months, now we're going to go to South Africa. So whoa. I already have so much travel now planned. I'm like, I've never been to South Africa, but now we're going to South Africa. So
yeah, that's good. Well, have a great trip and be safe.
Yeah, I want to get to the games. It's closer this year because it's in Wisconsin. So I don't know. Well, I haven't actually got a chance to visit the games yet. So we'll see what happens. But there's just been so much going on. It's been crazy.
It's
so
crazy, man. All the hotels are booked up. It's like, man, this guy is powerful. I mean, he's coming in and he's bringing so much money for the city. I mean, how many athletes at the game? 100,000, 200,000, something crazy?
Oh, if you include the people in the audience? Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, they'll fill on the weekends. They'll fill the stadium. I'm not worried about that. Like in California, they always sold out the stadium in California on the weekends, not during the week, like not on Thursday or Friday, but unless people take off from work.
How many people in the stadium? Like 80,000 people?
I don't know the capacity of that stadium either, but
football stadium, right?
Because I keep changing all the football stadium names. I don't really know a lot about Wisconsin. I know they're the Packers, and that's Madison's. I mean, do you think they're using the Green Bay Packers stadium?
I have no idea, but I know a stadium is at least 80,000 people.
That'd be crazy if they actually filled that.
Yeah,
because I know that's bigger.
Crazy numbers of people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very expensive there. So it's like, man, I'm hoping that I can, make some connections. So I'm taking my agent, Chris, and assistant, Anna, and stuff like that. So
there you go. Well, we'll definitely have to reconnect then, especially now you got a little business connection locally. That's kind of funny. So especially if you come to this area at all. I don't know if you guys are going to be doing an in-person meeting with him at all, but you guys are local.
In mid-August, we'll be there. When do you leave?
For what?
When do you leave for South Africa?
Oh, no, that's not till, I think it's September, October. So.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'll be there in August to see him again.
Oh, yeah, man. Then we got to connect then because, like I said, you're literally, I could probably get there in like 20, 25 minutes. It's the greater Lehigh Valley area is this area. And that's what, like I said, I went to high school up there.
Okay, that sounds good. So let's see if we can try to brainstorm and see if we can partner up with some things. I know we're going to be doing some things with Benny as well. So
Yeah.
All part of one big network.
Yeah, and actually, one of my fellow coaches used to do MMA, so he knows some of the local MMA gyms here in the Valley as well. I mean, just as far as connections go. And my friend Rob, that I'm going to do the kettlebell thing with, where my girlfriend trains at, or my fiance trains at, he literally has a martial art, like it's not his, but a guy's renting a whole corner of his building for his dojo. So there's a guy there doing grappling and MMA stuff and everything too. So you're right. There is a lot of crossover there.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. What did you get? The book? Which jump rope did you get? The Aerospeed with the green horn?
I did not order a rope because Chris says he's sending me them. So whatever Chris is sending, I have no idea. He tweeted me saying, "Hey, sorry, last week got busy. I'm going to send, I think he says he's going to send the stuff out. Like probably, I think he sent this last night.
He just got back.
Yeah. Yesterday afternoon, he said travel ran into the weekend. So I'll send your jump rope out tomorrow. I guess he sent it out today. I don't know.
How tall are you? 5?
Just a hair right around 6'4".
You're 6'4". Whoa.
I'm at a standing desk right now. So yeah.
You're 6'4", so that means, whoa, I hope he got the right.
He had me measure. I took the measuring tape to the collarbone, and according to I tweeted him 62 inches from my toe to the.
He's giving you a longer cable, so I hope I have one. But if you put the longer cable, what it is nice weight. It's nice weight to train with. So when you start doing your double unders with that, and then when you want to compete, then you go through a thinner cable, and then you just whip it.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the thing. I can teach people how to train with the rope, how to increase your double unders, we had a competition over in Norway, and we had a CrossFitter get into the double under competition, and they lost because the CrossFitter was jumping so high to do their double unders. It was taking them longer to hit the floor. When the person that won, they was just jumping like an inch off the floor to do double unders. So they took off and they landed quicker.
Wow.
So little things like that these CrossFitters don't understand.
Well, I'll have an excuse to do it more because I have a giant garage building behind our house. So I've been building a mini CrossFit gym space in there for my girl and I. So I already have matting down, pull-up bar installed. We already ordered men's and women's Olympic bars are in there. Bumper plates are in there. So I have all the matting down to keep the ropes nice. I don't have to worry about, the friction on the concrete floors. So
that's going to be your own. You're going to basically recruit people to come there, or just?
Well, right now it's just for her and I. She's a veterinary doctor, works on horses, so she's always on call for her business. So sometimes she can't. She just wants to be able to go out back real quick and work out in case her schedule's crazy. And I travel a lot, and sometimes I just want to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to take an hour off, unplug from the office here, and walk out back and go work out. So yeah, I mean, who knows? If friends want to come by and train, I'll let them. I want it to be more of a neutral fun zone. But to be fair, my garage is bigger than a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
It's her family's old construction business's building where they were founded back in the early 1900s. So I got it's like 3,000 square feet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, I have half of it rented out just for car storage. People are storing like antique cars in there.
So be prepared. You will get some people coming in. So that'd be nice. It's sometimes good to have company to try.
It's supposed to be fun. That's the whole point.
That's right.
So, well, let's definitely stay in touch, sir, because I mean, if nothing else, when you come to the Valley and I'm here, if I'm here, we have to connect because I can do I'll do a Facebook Live and we'll hang out or something like that. I mean, there's all different things you can do to promote your brand. So.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can teach you some jumps there or double unders or whatever you want.
Yeah, or actually, my gym that I coach at in Bethlehem, we have his brand's called the Mobility Doc. So he's a chiropractor, and his wife is a doctor of physical therapy, and they started their own barbell club. So in front of our CrossFit space, in front is his whole space. He's got a mini rectangular trampoline, so he's always working with gymnastics, and he's got 6 or 7 lifting platforms, and they're targeted just towards the Olympic lifters. And then he's got his whole therapy center in the corner that he does all the body work on. So yeah, so there's a lot of interesting people that you can meet when you're here.
Yeah, And trampoline is one way that you learn your double unders. It's excellent. There's so many amazing benefits of trampoline. He understands it.
Huh.
But that's untapped source there for as far as developing people's fitness. But when it comes to double, triple, quadruple unders, that's where you learn. You learn it on the trampoline.
All right. Game on. Like I said, I'm finally ready to shave off this little issue. I'm tired of using the excuse of, oh, well, I was like, I'm just a big old white boy. I have no rhythm. I literally tell people that. And I was like, that's just a really.
Use anymore, man. White boys got rhythm now. We got more rhythm than the brother. Yeah.
Well, I got to start working on that and fix that, because now my girl is out jump roping me and she rubs it in all the time. So I was like, all right, I guess I got to start working on it.
All right, you got a personal train session from me when I come up, okay? So we'll make it happen, all right?
Well, and we'll video that. That way, like, we'll create more content off of that, because that's how I roll. I don't want to just. I want to make sure somebody else is going to learn from what I'm learning from. You know,
interactive. Make it interactive. It's better experience. But yeah, but that's where I work best.
Yeah.
So on that, and what I can do is basically make sure that we, give you approximate time that we're thinking about coming back up there, because we got to have another meeting of the minds up there, because we're going to do some big things on
yeah, and we can all sit down and have a little mastermind session, talk business stuff if you want to help you guys out with what you guys are trying to do. Because sometimes it's good just to network and sit down and just hang out and chat, and it's like, what kind of powerful content can come out of that from a business perspective? So meeting of the minds.
Yeah, that sounds great. So we'll make a date on that.
You got it, sir. A virtual handshake.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Scott. Great.
All right. Well, I'll keep you in a loop when this goes live. I'm actually going to be scheduling this. I'm going to, because your games are coming up so fast, I'm actually going to bump you in for this Friday. So.
Okay. Sounds great, bro.
Yeah. That way you got some new, fresh content out there talking about the games before you even go to the games.
Yeah. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it. See you soon. Jump, jump, jump.
You got it, sir. Take care.
Thank you. All right. Goodbye.